Well, the Toronto Raptors are going for a 6th win in a row when they host the Washington Wizards tonight.
They've won 4 straight sets. Quick, the three! Rack it up! I'll take it!
Well, Toronto's coming off a 121-112 win over the 76ers in Philly on Wednesday. It's their 9th victory in the last 10 games. And for more on the Raptors hot streak, we are joined by sports journalist Joon Lee. We appreciate your time, Joon. After coming off a bit of a rocky October, November's been looking pretty good. What do you think's been the secret ingredient to the Raptors lately?
I think it's the improvement of Scotty Barnes, the fact that he's shooting career best 50% basically from 3-point, 39% from 3-point, 50% from the field. And he's just, I think, taken a big step forward in terms of just being a dynamic player on both sides of the ball. And that has really risen the floor of this team. I think the Raptors are in an interesting spot because over the course of the last few years, they've been building their depth and building kind of building up the average guy on the roster in terms of just trying to get that floor level to be a little bit higher. And I think they're at a point where, it's early. There's still a lot of games left in the season. The Celtics are, dealing with injuries with Jason Tatum out for the season. And so they're dealing, in a weaker conference in general. But there's no doubt that this team has taken steps forward in large part because Scotty Barnes is really fulfilling his potential in a way that, there was a lot of doubts about over the course of the last few years.
Yeah, Barnes, Barrett, and Ingram pretty much averaging about 20 points per game so far this season. But you also have to look at some of the other guys who are stepping up, including Grady Dick, who's been, surprisingly just, making some great improvements in comparison to what we saw throughout October. Let's talk about him and his contributions for a bit.
Yeah, I think Grady Dick is kind of emblematic of the importance of drafting and how important it is to be able to get guys who can contribute at the NBA level through the NBA draft. And the Raptors have been good at doing that over the course of the last few years. I mean, they had the capital, they've been able to build up the capital with the young players across the roster. I think that they've just generally been able to develop their players, I think, consistently over the course of the last 2 decades to get them to a point where they're winning a championship, obviously, in the previous generation of this team. And so, Grady Dick's development, the fact that, he is a guy who they chose up high in the draft just a couple of years ago, and he has turned into a serviceable bench guy. That's what you need to just be able to sustainably build out an NBA franchise for the long run.
And just in comparison to last year, I mean, this team looks just a little bit more refined, a little bit more polished. And, it's still early in the season. It's only 15 games. And, we're right now sitting second in the Eastern Conference behind the Pistons, who are on a pretty good hot streak as well, 11 games in a row. Let's talk about just the overall division and how this is shaping up moving into the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting time to be in the NBA right now, especially in the Eastern Conference, just because you have the Indiana Pacers, who lost Tyrese Halliburton now for the season, and, Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics, they've been dealing with their injuries, and Tatum is out for the season ostensibly. We'll see if he comes back a little bit early, but this is a wide open Eastern Conference. The NBA in general, I think, is going through this kind of generational shift right now. Victor Wembanyama has been absolutely dominant for the Spurs. He's, dealing with injuries right now. The Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron is not the guy that he used to be. He's an older player now, and Luka Doncic has become the central focus of the Lakers roster over the course of the last few years. And so we're in an interesting period where there is an opportunity for these teams, these young teams, to gain experience, to gain confidence. And I think it's always important to never underrate how important just playoff experience is and how much pressure can really kind of force guys to blossom in a way that you might not expect. And so there is an opportunity here for the Raptors to make big steps and continue to execute on their rebuilding plan over the course of the season.
Yeah, and we're hoping to take away another win tonight against the Wizards, 1-13. Not so great for them. Joon Lee, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.